Hi everyone, welcome to Code Kamkaj YouTube channel. I hope everybody are doing good. In this video, we'll be discussing about like SAST and SCA. So full form of SAST is a static application security testing, and full form of SCA is a software composition analysis. So when you come to like basic definition of SAST, which is the SAST is a type of like security testing that examine the source code, bytecode, or binary of your application, and it is going to find the vulnerabilities and without executing the program. Which means it's kind of security testing, examining mechanism or phenomenal or process, whatever you call it. So it is going to check all your source code or binary code of your application, whatever you have developed, and it is going to find the vulnerabilities, security flaws, without even executing the program, without even running the program. So that's the basic definition of SAST. And when it comes to SCA, software composition analysis. So software composition analysis is focusing on analyzing your third-party libraries or open source dependencies that are used in application. So typically, it's identify the vulnerabilities within these external components, such as like outdated libraries or any insecure dependencies that have imported. Which means while you're writing the code, you might import few libraries or modules into your source code. So it may have few vulnerabilities. That's the reason we should use any software composition analysis tool to find are there any outdated, so are there any outdated libraries, or are there any outdated modules that we have been importing from like open source community. It can be any community that whatever tech stack that you are using. It can be Python, it can be Java. So while you're writing, you may import your open source. So that's the reason we should scan those open source libraries or modules or dependencies that you are importing into your source code. So that's the reason we should use a software composition analysis into your day-to-day activities. It can be your via your CI/CD pipeline, or it can be independent pipeline for your only security test. So that's all the definition of SAST and SCA. So today I brought few tech stacks. So I listed out few tools, whichever tools that we are going to use for all the tech stacks. So I brought few tech stack which mostly used in the current market, such as first one is Java. So and in the Java, I brought few SAST tools such as SonarQube, which is open source tool which is providing the code quality and security analysis. And second was the checkmarks, which is enterprise tool and focusing on secreting the code analysis and compliances. And the next one is the 45 static code analysis, which is the code scanner that identified the wide range of vulnerabilities in Java. And the next one is Vera code static analysis. So it's a cloud-based tool. It's provide the detailed security assessment, and you can integrate with your CI/CD pipeline, which has a better flexibility. And the next one is a find sec bugs. So it's a security plugin for your spot bugs, which is specialized in finding the vulnerabilities in Java application especially. And the next one is security composition analysis. So where we have the dependency check, which comes under OWS CAP top 10. So it's a open source tool, which is a free tool that can scan your project dependencies, and you can find the known vulnerabilities. And the next one is a sneak. So it's a security tool which is focusing on open source dependencies and offering the real-time scanning and better remediation. So which has the dynamic level of remediation with a sneak. The next one is the white source, which is detecting the open source vulnerabilities and licensing risk, which we can integrate with the like DevOps CI/CD pipelines and the better flexibility. The next one is a tool is a Black Duck, which is a Synopsis, which is a comprehensive solution for where you can track open source dependencies and all. So which is managing compliances, which will be find it Black Duck. And Sonatype Nexus IQ, so which monitors the dependencies for security risk and then policies or on like open source usage. And the next one we have the FOSA, which provides the vulnerability tracking and license compliances. Next one we have the JFrog X-ray. So if you are using JFrog as the your package manager after your package or application, so it is inbuilt X-ray scanner. So you can integrate with the JFrog Artifactory, which provides the vulnerability scanning of your like all the packaged application. And the last we have the GitHub Dependa bot, so which is a native GitHub tool, so that scan all your dependencies, and it will give updates related to your vulnerabilities of your open source. So you might see in this source code compression analysis list in other languages, like where we are going to discuss frequently. So I will ignore if you haven't discussed those tools, and I just want to list out all the tools, this security compression analysis tool on each language. That's why I'm going to repeat in the in this discussion. The next stack is a Python. So under the Python, we have the Bandit, which comes under SAST. So it's a lightweight tool which is analyzing the Python code for like a known security issues. And already we discussed about SonarQube. So SonarQube is also supports the Python provided, and it will give a static analysis for code quality and security. And the next one we have the PyLinter. So PyLinter is that it flags the syntax errors, or if you have any potential bugs, it will give those reports. And the next we have the SemGrep. So it's which is a pattern-based static analysis tool. So we can work across, like not only Python, we can go with the multiple languages. And next one is a checkmarks. So checkmarks is enterprise SaaS tool. So we already discussed about even it is supposed to the Python application. And we have the SCA, security compression analysis. We have discussed about, like Dependabot and Sneak. So white source, like it's open source tool also, which is used for tracking all your software lifecycle vulnerabilities of open source. And we have discussed about Forza, JFrog, Dependabot. So these are the tools we can we can use for Python, SAST, and security compression analysis. And the next tech stack is a .NET, and VBNet, and C Sharp. So SaaS tools are SonarQube. We have discussed 45 checkmarks, and Veracode we have discussed. And the next one is we have the Microsoft Security Code Analysis, which you haven't discussed. So which is focusing on .NET applications only, which you can integrate with any CI/CD tools, or you can integrate with the Visual Studio, because these Visual Studio and Microsoft product. That's why you can integrate easily, and you can scan your source code along with your code editor, which is Visual Studio Code. Sorry, Visual Studio. And as SCA, we have like a Sneak and Whiteboard. We have White Source. We have discussed Black Ducks, Sonar iCube, and JFrog, and GitHub Dependabot. We have discussed about it. When it comes to R, so we have the RATS, which is the rough auditing tool for security. So full form of it. So which is a security auditing tool for identifying the potential vulnerability for R code and our tech stack, and linter for R, which is a primary linter for it, and which find the bugs, coding, which find the any vulnerabilities of coding, and we can use for best practices of coding of R. We can use a linter for that. And we have the Sonar R plugin, where the Sonar plugin allow we can allow the SonarQube to perform code analysis for R projects if you are using R as a tech stack. So these are the tools come from SAST for R, and the next one is a source code security compression analysis. We have already discussed about Sneak and White Source, and here we have the dependency check, which is the OWS API, so which is general purpose tool where we can use for R dependency detection of known vulnerabilities. And C and C++. So SaaS tools are we have the client static analyzer, which is open source tool also. If you are working with a C and C++, so you can use this tool for checking the bugs in your code. And CPP check, which is a static analysis tool for detecting the any vulnerabilities related to C and C++. And 45 we have discussed, and we have the cover T. So cover T also is going to use detecting the vulnerabilities under C and C++. So next we have the clockwork. These also used to, and you can embed it with the systems like automatives or airsports. If you are using, can if those field, if you are using any C and C++, so can use these tools to analyze the security flaws and vulnerabilities into this in the industry, which is systems or automotives or aerospace. You can use this tool, and you may not see this tool regularly into your in terms of development, because rarely these tool used if you are using C language to your these industries especially. And next we have the security composition analysis, which is dependency check. We have discussed Sneak and White Source, Black Duck, SonarQube, JFrog, and here we have the anchor and clear, where this scans if you are doing any containerization, you can use this like anchor and clear, and if you're not, so you can ignore this security composition analysis for that. And next one is C sharp, where we have already discussed with the .NET. I think we have discussed already the .NET. Yeah, so we already discussed with .NET. Sorry for duplicacy. So even we have all Sonar Cube and Checkmarks, Vertify. We have used all these tools for SAST and SCA. So these are the tools which are currently mainly used as open source enterprise. So you can check into those official website whether which tool you would like to use into your source code, static application security testing, or software composition analysis. Depends on whichever stack you are using and which tool that you are flexible to integrate with your CI/CD pipeline. So you can check all those tools of official website and how flexibility it is and how cost effective it is and how enterprise it is. Accordingly, you can take the licenses and you can integrate that with your source code and you can scan it. So yeah, I hope it is clear for everybody about which are the tools which are currently being used into market in the real world, all the SAST and security composition analysis too. So if I've missed something related to SAST and security composition analysis for these tags, so I request you to drop your comments in comment section if whichever tools I have missed. If not so, and you can share this video to your friends and family members that every time you ask you to share it and subscribe to my channel. So that's all for this lecture. I'm stopping here. And thanks for watching. Bye bye.